new mechanic, new gameplay, new hero, and new outfits.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Ian. In addition to the new content of this season, we've also made a lot of optimizations to existing systems, things like crafting, endgame content, and a bunch of other stuff. These are adjustments we've made after considering feedback from the community. So,
자, 시작했습니다.
provide an even better gaming experience for everyone. Whilst you watch the live stream today, we have also enabled Twitch drops, so you can earn jagged Prima Crisps after this live stream. At the same time, all players will receive a limited edition portrait frame on the first day of the new season. So remember to log in September 7th to claim it. Now let's take a look at the season trailer to get a glimpse into the story of the city of Eternal.
영원한 미궁의 도시라네요, 이름이.
너무 오래되어 처음 만났을 때 우리의 모습조차 기억나지 않네요. 비록 죽음이 당신과 저를 갈라놓았지만 혼부를 태워 다시 당신을 불러올 수 있게 되었는데, 하지만 나의 연인이여, 왜 지난날 저와의 모든 것을 당신의 영혼의 나라에 바치려 하는 거죠? 그 후 일어난 모든 일은 마치 악몽 같았어요. 우리의 도시는 폐허가 되어가고 우리의 백성들은 꺼져가는 촛불이 되어버렸어. 세상에서 제일 사랑하는 당신, 그대는 지금 어떤 모습인가요? 완강하고 포악하며 난폭하고 잔혹하죠. 당신이 말했었잖아요. 우리는 평생 서로 의지할 거고 죽어서도 변치 않을 거라고.
The city of Eterna has spread to Leptis. In the new season, hunters will encounter and interact with the monument of Eterna, then be guided to the edge of Eterna, the ruins of Eterna. In the ruins, hunters must complete challenges in allotted time, kind of candelabra for prizes.
약간 결전 느낌인 것 같은데?
A vital component for hunters to rebuild the city of Eterna that has the condition of all candelabra recorded on it. Various reward spots are scattered throughout the map. Hunters must stamp them with the marks of runes to create a passage before taking the prizes. They must make sure the marks of runes are connected and cover as many reward spots as possible for more prizes. When the map is completely covered in marks, hunters will be able to enter the city of Eterna they have rebuilt. In the city, every stamped reward spot will turn into a candlelight of sacrifice. And hunters must get kinship firewood from the kings of Eterna, wandering the city to light the candlelight of sacrifice for rewards. Each candlelight of sacrifice has a chance to change into a candelabrum of sacrifice for hunters to get more and better prizes for completing the challenge. After completing all reward spots,
이 필터 보니까 또 재밌을 것 같긴 하다.
Defeat the final boss to start the next round of rebuilding the city. The difficulty and drops of the final boss are determined by the sum of reward spots activated. In other words, the final boss becomes more powerful and more reward spots you connect. And the more powerful the boss, the more impressive the prizes. If you're lucky enough, you will chance upon special maps for a shot at more precious prizes from the rebuilt Eterna, enjoying the moment to the fullest when you do. The new season introduces a massive new talent panel, Psalms of Eterna, which includes loads of season-related talent nodes. Hunters can collect pages of Eterna in the city to piece the Psalms together to gradually unlock all talents of the season. Through the power of the Psalms, hunters can expand the map of the city and gain massive buffs and bonuses rewards, ultimately unlocking the infinite city of Eterna. After the infinite city of Eterna is unlocked, every time you clear the city will push it one step closer to reaching true eternity, making it even more dangerous. As the city becomes more dangerous, there will be more rewards too, and there's no limit to the city's tier. Who will venture furthest into the Eterna? We shall see.
Amazing. Thanks, Ian, for introducing the new and exciting season gameplay. So, as before, there's going to be a new Supreme Boss featured in the new season. Of course, the Lone King of Eterna will be waiting for you at the end, watching everything you do in the city. When you dare face him, he will slay you without mercy. You can also find a special admission ticket, Queen's Wick, in the city of Eterna. Use it to locate the Lone King of Eterna in the Great Void. Defeat him and leave with treasures that have been hidden in Eterna for thousands of millennia. But the story is still far from over. The new season will also introduce a brand new character progression system, Soul Candles. Upon exploring the city, you will get this new item, Soul Candle. Hunters need to equip Soul Candles in the skill panel, and they will nourish Hunters' soul and significantly improve skill effects. A Soul Candle usually has 1 to 3 affixes of random tiers, but you can fuse them to upgrade, evolve, or even mutate their affixes. You can acquire a special item, Tear of Eterna, from monsters in the city. By spending Tears of Eterna, you can fuse 2 Soul Candles. When fusing Soul Candles, affixes of identical effects and tears from the 2 Soul Candles will be
뭐야?
fused into one.
아, 합칠 수 있구나, 촌농을. 그래서 3개 옵션 중에 하나씩 선택해가지고 합치는 거네요. 진화를 할 수도 있다?
With one guaranteed negative affix, and any T0 affix of the fused soul candle has a small chance of mutating into a rare special affix. Mutated affixes are very powerful, however they can also have serious negative impacts on you. Therefore, you must balance the power and the negative effects brought by soul candles by making the most of the positive affixes and avoiding the negative affixes, making the potent but dangerous soul candles to your advantage.
Thank you, Sean. You're pretty much
그럴 것
covered
같은데?
all mechanic updates about the new season. But actually, there's one thing we haven't mentioned yet. The labyrinth is essentially a random map, because the route assembled each time is different, so the terrain you encounter inside is also different.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. We hope that you can try out this new gameplay for yourselves and be constantly coming up with new labyrinth combinations, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we're going to introduce the new heroes and new hero traits.
네, 이것도 핵앤슬래시예요. 약간 카툰 기반의 약간 재밌습니다. 이것도 POE 약간 많이 간소화시킨 느낌? 여러 가지 게임들 있잖아요. 좋은 것들을 많이 끌어다가 쓰고 있어요. 근데 크래프팅 이야기도 좀 있었으면 좋겠는데 좀 봐야겠네요. 일단 훨씬 쉬워요. 쉽기는. 약간 메이븐 같이 생기긴 했다. 그죠? 아니네요.
Iris, a spirit magus from the Shattered World, who, under Yoga's relentless persuasion, finally decided to join Torchlight. Iris can put spirit magus skills in active
신규
skill slots
히어로네.
and a breeze that gives spirit magic the nourishment buff to make them more powerful. They can also help spirit magic grow, change their forms and skills, and even increase the max number of spirit magi that can be summoned. Beyond that, Iris Nourishment can push spirit magi into the hyper state of Full Bloom. Spirit magi in Full Bloom will unlock an ultimate that can deal devastating strikes to enemies. Lead a squad of spirit magi in toppling powerful foes.
오, 이쁘죠?
Alright, so the Forsaken Iris Growing Breeze will be obtainable through purchasing the Season Pass after the new season.
아, 시즌 노트 구매하면
As for the
된다네요.
new hero trait for this season, it goes to Frostfire Gemma. As Frostfire Gemma's third traits with a flame theme, I'm sure this comes as no surprise to anyone.
Yeah, let's hear about Gemma's story.
If Gemma never met Liv, she never would have learned to balance the power of fire and ice within her. When the frost heart guarding her was finally melted by a blaze, her life also took a turn. Gemma, Flame of Pleasure, will unleash a purgatory around herself and brand enemies within it. While dealing massive damage, she'll also torture them with death by fire for additional fire damage. As Gemma, Flame of Pleasure, grows, she can baptize surrounding enemies in fiery agony by using death by fire to spread the damage recorded by brand, or even has purgatory follow her around and turn everywhere she goes into an inferno, allowing
와,
her to bathe
개멋있다.
in the pain and suffering of her foes. Alright, so new hero trait Flame of Pleasure can be unlocked using Primacrysts or hero emblems.
Right, and together with the new join of Iris, the spirit mechanic will also bring a lot of differences. Previously, players used spirits more as the buff bots, but for this season, spirits will have the potential to become a very powerful allies. The new mechanic for spirit magus minions, growth. Spirit magi are no longer just simple buff providers, but powerful sidekicks that can grow and hold their own. Growth is a base attribute every Spirit Magus possesses that represents its current growth and does not decline naturally like command. Accumulating a certain amount of growth will allow Spirit Magi to grow into the next stage, until they reach stage 5. Hunters can get growth through talent or gear to help Spirit Magi grow, in turn improving all their attributes and skills by leaps and bounds. And based on this mechanic, we revamped the skill system of all Spirit Magi. We will use Fire Spirits as an example below to introduce the growth of Spirit Magi. Fire Spirits have 3 skills: base skill Blazing Dance, enhanced skill Blazing Explosion, and power skill Blazing Whirl. At stage 2, a Fire Spirit's chance to use its enhanced skill will be increased. At stage 3, its enhanced skill will get a significant boost. At stage 4, its empower skill will provide additional buffs to itself. At stage 5, it will get a stat boost across the board, increasing its damage, skill area, movement speed, and tracking area. With the new changes to Spirit System, new skills have been added accordingly.
Yeah, that's right. So there are 2 new active skills related to spirits now. Archery Bond is an all-new Empower Sentry placed to provide buffs to nearby allies by reducing projectile quantity but increasing additional projectile damage, attack, and cast speed. With the Bond of Archery's aid, your projectiles will travel faster and hit harder.
이쁘다 이거.
Speed Phantom is an all-new mobility skill. Upon activation, the hunter will move in the specified direction while leaving a remnant at the starting point that keeps taunting foes. The remnant explodes after a few seconds to deal damage and inflict slow, as well as increase the hunter's spell damage and cast speed based on the number of enemies hit by the explosion. Nourishment of Life is an Empower skill created specifically for the Spirit Magi this season. Casting it creates a zone centered on and moves with the caster that increases growth for all Spirit Magi inside it. When growth is at stage 4 or above, a Spirit Magus skill area expands additionally, and casting a skill has a chance to increase its projectile quantity. Dazzling Bloom is one of the skills created specifically for Spirit Magi this season. Casting this skill can teleport Spirit Magi to a target location and make them fight the enemy of the highest rarity nearby. So, in the new season, we've prepared several brand new legendary gears for the hunters. Here, let me introduce 2 of the most distinctive pieces to you all. Eternal Elegy is a mysterious necklace from the city of Eterna. When equipped, the hunter will gain a buff called Solemnity as they channel in place, which increases the skill radius.
킬 범위를 늘린다.
When Solemnity stacks reach the upper limit, the skill will add physical damage based on a certain amount of max energy shield and remove a certain amount of life and energy shield per second. This is a legendary gear tailored for stage.
와 미친 딜 7억이
As
넘어버리네.
you channel in place, you will gain a buff called Energy Storage, and the longer you channel, the greater the buff you gain from Energy Storage. When Energy Storage reaches its upper limit, you need to make a choice. Either continue to stand still to maintain the current high buff, or convert all stored energy into instant mobility. Those who greedily deal damage in place may be slapped to death by the boss. For every 4 channeled stacks, gain 1 stack of energy storage, up to a maximum of 5 stacks. When moving, consume all energy storage stacks.
저는 이번에 좀 모험심을 한번 키워볼까 생각 중입니다. 했던 거 말고 새로운 것 중에 골라야겠어.
Another legendary necklace is Iron Nest. As the name suggests, it makes the hunter's synthetic troop minions unable to move, but their duration is greatly increased. In addition, the command gained by the hunter per second will become the command lost per second. As the command decreases, the tactics of the synthetic troop minions will become more conservative. Of course, being conservative does not mean losing their sharpness. As the command decreases, Iron Nest will provide various bonuses to the synthetic troop minions, such as close range fire, taunt, aura effects, enlarged physique, increased multi-strike chance, and damage increment, allowing them to maintain their counter-attack power while adopting conservative tactics.
엉엉 우시려고. 아이, 안 울어요.
A sturdy and dangerous iron nest with their bodies, protecting the hunter at the center of the nest. In addition, we have added exclusive legendary gear for some story bosses. For example, the legendary shield Eclipse comes from our familiar evil dragon, Ordrak. Eclipse will convert most of the hunter's elemental damage into fire damage and apply 1 stack of Tenacity Blessing when applying the curse. Don't worry, this is not helping the enemy. Eclipse will grant additional base effects to Tenacity Blessing, reducing fire resistance and max fire resistance. At the same time, Eclipse also contains the hatred of the Dragon Descendants. When the hunter deals damage to an enemy with Tenacity Blessing, there is a chance to trigger the evil dragon's attack,
어?
dealing damage and turning
와.
the target golden.
In
안건
addition
쓰면
to new content,
좋겠네.
we also pay close attention to your feedback on the existing content.
제발.
In the new season, there will be numerous balance adjustments
대량의
and
밸런싱
optimizations.
조정?
To make legendary gear even more special, we improved some of their effects. Take the legendary soldier goggles, for example. We make improvements across the board, including FX's visual effects, gold arena effects, and iconic buffs for clashing gladiators, renown and notoriety. When equipped with the legendary soldier goggles, hunters can create a gold arena when casting a mobility skill while knocking back
와,
all
뭐야.
non-elite opponents nearby.
오,
Before
지리는데?
unleashing renown and notoriety on both sides to begin
약간
exciting.
CWDT처럼 알아서 발동이
Please
되나봐요.
check out the
스킬
patch notes that
사용하면.
will be released later. In the cube of our past day season, we noted some existing hero traits were not strong enough for dangerous challenges in the late game, and therefore we made some adjustments to certain hero traits. In the new season, the benefits from Carino, Ranger of Glory special ammo have been significantly boosted, and Yoga's space-time illusion and Twisted Space-Time are now affected by
많이 안
spell
하는
skill
것들
level bonuses.
버프
Also
시켜주는 거
getting hero
같네.
traits adjustments are Carino, Lethal Flash, and Thea, Wisdom of the Gods. You can check out details in the patch notes. In the following versions, we will continue to improve or even remake older heroes and hero traits, optimizing them for better gaming experience rather than neglecting them in the light of new heroes and hero traits. Regarding value calculations, there's one very important adjustment. To avoid inflated values, we revised how affixes are calculated. Bonuses provided by the same affix are adding together, while bonuses provided by different affixes still multiply. For example, when you have the plus X% attack speed for every stack of Tenacity Blessings affix, the attack speed bonus provided by each stack will be added together. But if you also have the plus N% additional attack speed affix, the bonuses of the two affixes will be multiplied. We made large-scale changes to crafting the cube of our past day season.
대규모
In
개선.
line with all the players' feedbacks, we realized that there are still many problems with the current crafting system.
Yes, right.
크래프팅
Exactly.
대규모
So
개선이요?
here's what we've got. To begin with, the performance of crafted items is much too inferior to certain core legendary gear. Also, the availability of certain base materials way too scarce, whilst restrictions of plasticity increased the consumption of those base materials, and the affixes are randomly generated in targeted processing, which kind of complicates the process and makes the cost differences for crafting different axes kind of unreasonable.
Yeah, and to address
안
those
해,
issues,
여기도.
we revised the rules for prototype crafting and targeted processing as below. During prototype crafting, you must lock 1 to 2 affixes on the gear for re-randomization. When one affix is locked, the gear will be randomized into a piece of prototype gear with 4 fixed affixes without costing any plasticity. When 2 affixes were locked, the gear will be randomized into a piece of prototype gear with 5 fixed affixes. An affix upgrade feature has been added to prototype.
오,
You can
잘했다.
spend Flame Element TMM plasticity to upgrade an affix, and by spending Ultimate Embers, you can upgrade a Tier 1 affix to Tier 0. By doing so, randomly remove another affix on the gear and reset the gear's plasticity to 0. And of course, gear with 0 plasticity can still be upgraded from Tier 1 to Tier 0. During targeted processing, you can directly add specific affixes to a piece of gear, and the tier of these affixes will be random tier from Tier
Holy
0
shit.
to Tier 6. Certain rare
훨씬
affixes
쉬워졌는데요,
such as
그럼?
+2 spell skill level have a chance of failing in targeted processing. Targeted processing will no longer clear the gear's plasticity, meaning targeted processed gear can now be used for prototype crafting up to reforging. The upgrade feature
어.
allows Hunter to make superior prototype gear more consistently.
와,
with
그러면은
prototype crafting.
진짜
The inclusion of
좀
two tier
제작하면서 할 수
affixes
있겠다,
also greatly
다시.
boosts prototype gear's power and the sense of surprise during prototype crafting.
좋아.
The affixes added in targeted processing no longer require RNG, which increases the chance of crafting the gear you want significantly. We hope these changes will bring a more reliable and delightful crafting experience to hunters. Furthermore, non-legendary gears will no longer be able to be corroded again. To improve the potency and worth of non-legendary gear, we improved their affixes, deleted most of the useless filters,
불필요한
such as
중첩
giving
옵션
errors to gain
삭제.
blessings duration, etc. Adjusted the availability of defense affixes like block, regain, armor, evade to make them more relevant, and added powerful new Summer, Blessing, Barrage, Terra, Beam affixes. To make survival mechanics easier to understand and make the progression curve smoother, we modified the rules for survival progression. We have revised the calculation formula for the damage reduction provided by armor, making the damage reduction rate a fixed value that no longer changes based on the damage received. Armor now works more consistently and is easier to grasp. Meanwhile, in the new season, armor also works against other types of damage besides physical damage, though at a lower rate. Similarly, evasion is now effective against spell damage, though at a lower value as well. In the previous season, defensive skills proved to be powerful. Therefore, we cut down on the availability of the defense skill effect affixes and changed the effectiveness of defense skills. Meanwhile, we increased their default coverage. We hope these changes can balance the various defensive stats, improve the worth of armor invasion, and help you face the challenges in your defenses. Last, we made the following changes to divinity slates. For this season, there's a chance for medium talent nodes to be upgraded to rare ones during branding. Moreover, any talent nodes, even a blank talent node, has a chance to get upgraded to a new god talent node. When branding fails, a random talent node in the divinity state would change into another talent node of equal power level. Of course, you can revert it change as usual. We hope the new rules can improve the current bland experience of branding, adding more surprises and diverse results to the process, as well as helping hunters to get the talent nodes they want easier.
이게 컨텐츠 수정.
Okay, so considering that the Netherrealm gameplay is going to be adjusted, I feel that a lot of players might have some doubts. The main reason for adjusting this is to make it easier for everyone to loot.
Yes, the original Chaos Invasion has many advantages. It encourages players to farm different stages, lets them customize their loot preference and experience of excitement of stacking cards effect and compasses for massive loots, and makes obtaining loot and farming as strategic as fun as building a build. But at the same time, we have also noticed many problems it has.
The effects of the cards stack up, and the vast majority of loot is dropped in the final 1 or 2 maps where cards and compasses are almost fully stacked,
맞지.
which means when you don't have or are unable to draw the key card combo, trying to finish a round becomes a futile exercise. The cards dealt could vary a lot from round to round. To ensure a return, you must constantly change your farming routes based on the cards you draw, which brings a continuous burden to the long farming process.
And also, combining cards, compasses, and high-valued maps can bring a huge amount of returns. But the prices of compasses and maps fluctuates with market prices, which means when hunters fail to execute the best strategy, it's kind of like they're getting punished with significantly less earnings, or even all of their efforts might be in vain, right?
Yes, and that's why we want to make the drops of Netherrealm more intuitive while retaining the fun of the trade cards, reducing the burden for hunters and lowering the risk they have to bear when farming, and thus we made the following changes to Chaos Invasion.
At the beginning of each round of Chaos Invasion, trait cards will not be drawn. Instead, every trait card in the deck will take effect in all maps within the region. The new rules not only ensure the strategic deck building experience, but also greatly reduce the risk posed to hunters by drawing cards.
미친.
Consequently, we have also made adjustments to the effects of all trait cards to make their strength more consistent with permanent standards. After removing RNG from the drawing of trait cards, we hope to provide more surprises for hunters through chaos cards. In this season, the effect of confusion cards.
아니 이러면은 내가 하고 싶은 거를 다 할 수 있다는 거네요?
Activated, several cards will be drawn from the confusion card library.
핵심 카드가 안 나와도
Hunters need to choose the confusion card, clear the corresponding stage, and accumulate progress. When the progress is completed, a very powerful effect will be added to the stage where the confusion card is located. In the new season, different decks and cards will be available in various time marks and regions, allowing hunters to challenge time marks in regions that best suit them. In addition to Chaos Invasion, we also made adjustments to the gameplay and compasses in Netherrealm. Since the Six Gods gameplay is the most basic and common gameplay in Netherrealm, we want its experience to be consistent and attractive.
기계신 재밌겠다. 뒤졌다 넌 그냥 결정 그냥 쏟아 부어버려.
Expectations for rewards due to receiving random low-value rewards.
이러면 너무 좋지. 와 근데 이거 이러면 인플레 감당되나?
In the new season, these compasses will be listed in the shop at a fixed price to prevent any gameplay strategies from becoming unavailable due to market fluctuations. After removing the compasses, we have introduced new Netherrealm difficulty levels to replace the difficulty and additional drops brought by the compasses. The first thing that should be noted is that in order to enrich the combat experience of hunters in Netherrealm,
하나, 둘,
we have
셋,
changed
넷,
the
다섯,
difficulty
여섯,
of
일곱, 여덟.
Netherrealm
8단계?
Space-time turbulence to time mark 8. We have added new difficulty levels to Netherrealm time marks, adding 2 marks to the original time mark 7
경로가
and 4
있네.
marks to time mark 8. In these new marks, enemies will become more dangerous, and the number of drops within
드롭
stages will
수량이
also increase.
증가한답니다.
Unlike using a compass, challenging new difficulty levels does not require additional items. Please choose the areas you wish to challenge wisely based on your own strength.
아, 저 다
We have
알아듣고 있는
also
거예요.
added a special mode called Deep Space to time mark 8. Deep Space is unlocked at time mark 8 and later. Hunters will need to spend specific beacons to access the Netherrealm stages in Deep Space mode, and of course, they will receive more abundant rewards as well.
So during the Cube of Rapacity season, we noticed that the frequently appearing affix skills at time mark 8 were causing significant performance strain on a lot of players' devices. So to address this issue, we have specifically designed affix skills for the Netherrealm stages at time mark 8 to assure they appear in appropriate locations, right? And provide enough pressure for hunters during their progression, whilst at the same time removing the pressure on their devices.
Exactly. And also, hunters often need legendary gears to aid them in battles, but powerful legendary gears is often in short supply. And therefore, we have added a new way to obtain legendary gears, the blueprint system.
설계도 시스템?
By
뭐지?
collecting a certain number of legendary gear blueprints, you will be able to craft the corresponding legendary gear in your inventory.
오, 뭐야?
Blueprints will be available as drops in the new season, enriching hunters' means of obtaining legendary
와, 미친. 아, 그러니까 한마디로 레전드템 조각을 모아서 레전드템을 만들 수 있다는 거죠?
is a great buddy for hunters to improve, right? Behind every great player, in fact, there are countless Invincible Mark IIs getting absolutely destroyed. But we discovered some issues after reviewing Invincible Mark II's work in previous season.
Yes, the DPS we had before is an important indicator for measuring the strength of a build, but it's not the only one. We do not want our hunters to be fixated on pursuing high DPS and overlook other equally important indicators such as survival. In the new season, the max DPS Invincible Mark II can display is 99.9 billion, which is enough to clear anything and everything this season. Moreover, the level of Invincible Mark II and Hunter's current survival will also be
와,
shown.
딜 뭐냐 진짜 저거.
We improved the user experience of Trade House.
거래소
as
환경
follows.
개선 있답니다.
We've added a global search feature to Trade House, making it easier for hunters
종합
to find
검색 기능
items.
추가.
Items listed, removed, and purchased in the Trade House will be automatically locked to prevent hunters from making inadvertent mistakes. We have increased the max collection pages by 10 pages, so hunters can now put more desired items in their collection.
실수를
The
방지할
search
수
feature
있다.
of Trade House now supports filtering by affix tier, making it easier for hunters to quickly find gear that suits them. The condition search results include
정밀
any
검색도
item in
이제
the condition
된답니다.
group is automatically added
이거
when
필요했던
using
거죠,
advanced
진짜.
search. We have added a feature to enable and disable condition groups, making it easier for hunters to search for their desired items. A price checking feature has been added to the tips of Trade House, making it more convenient for hunters to inquire about item prices. A criteria search button is added to the tips of development items in the Trade House. Click on it to go to advanced search and auto-check the corresponding basic criteria. We're changing highlight prices to price filter, which can save the filtered prices of different items. Hunters can now search the base affixes of corroded gear. We hope these improvements will bring a better Trade House experience to hunters. In the Cube of Rapacity season, hunters successfully repelled the malice incarnation that has spread throughout Lepsis, but the power of the cube has not gone away completely. In the new season, the Avarice code will be reset, and there is still a chance for hunters to encounter the cube in Netherrealm. Beat the
오,
malice
큐브 만날 수
incarnation,
있네요.
win rewards from the cube, and use its power to make yourself stronger.
We have
아,
always been committed to improving the gaming experience for hunters. In the previous season, we noticed that in certain extreme situations, hunters would encounter lag or even crashes, which affect the overall gaming experience. For this season, we optimized display strategies of special effects, damage calculations, ammo creation, and loot drops to significantly improve the game's frame rate and performance consistency, all in the hopes of providing you with a smoother, better gaming experience.
아 너무 좋은데? 상업화네요?
The new season will introduce 3 new legendary pack spirits: Scale of Original Sin, Abyssal King Soul, and Monument Knight. Scale of Original Sin's ability is to enhance the combat capabilities related to Spirit Magus.
전투 능력,
Abyssal King Soul is to enhance damage over time and reaping efficiency.
수확
And
확률,
Monument Knight is to enhance the Hunter's loot efficiency in the City of Eterna.
파밍 확률 상승,
Gameplay. Purchasing the Ultimate Season Pass will unlock the new hero, the Forsaken Iris, as well as Portal, back accessory, footprint, and one-handed axe outfit appearances. Cat Eye has 2 swimsuits, while Moto and Iris not only get their own advanced outfit, but also provide new outfits for their beloved minions and Spirit Magus.
That's all for today's season preview live stream. In fact, there are still many other contents that we haven't introduced to you yet, but this will be discovered in the season patch notes, including balance and battle
패치
adjustment,
노트 나오면 밸런스는 따로 봐야겠네요.
Yeah,
보니까.
that's right. And in fact, updating so many contents for each season is still a really big challenge, no matter whether it's devs or operations. We're working on a really tight schedule, but our goal is still super clear. We hope to continuously enrich the game content, improve the game experience through each successive season update, and strive to make the most fun loot-based ARPG.
Yeah, we hope to continue to receive your support in the upcoming season and welcome you to discuss and provide feedback on the game content in the community. Thank you all for watching the new season preview, and the new season will start officially on September 7th, 5 p.m. We look forward to exploring the City of Eterna with you all.
See you in the new season.
See you!
에이. 어떻게 봤어요? 저는 재밌게 봤는데 잠깐만요. 좀 체크 좀 해야 될 게 있어서.
On September 7th, 5 p.m. We look forward to exploring.
네, 저도 재밌어서.
Introduce 3
근데 하면 재밌어 일단.
Schedule, but our goal is still through.
Yeah, we hope to continue to receive your support in the upcoming season and welcome you to discuss and provide feedback on the game content in the community. Thank you all for watching the new season preview, and the new season will start officially on September 7th.
9월 8일.
We look forward to exploring the City of Eterna with you all.
See you in the new season.
See you!
자, 신규 시즌 오픈은 그럼 9월 8일인 거죠? 자, 9월 8일이고 인상 깊었던 부분 몇 개만 보고 넘어갈게요. 솔직히 하나만 봐도 돼. 제가 생각하는
Hunters will
가장
be
중요한 부분.
will be fused into one
powerful. At stage 2, a fire spirit,
amount of max energy. Eclipse will convert most
we made some adjustments to certain hero traits. In the new season, the benefits from Carino, Ranger of
이쪽은
Flawless
아니죠?
Level 1 being significantly
이쪽이죠?
boosted. Plus 2 spell skill level.
이게 제일 중요합니다. 여기 한 번만 더 볼게요.
During prototype craft,
is kind of unreasonable.
그러니까 결국 여기 토치라이트에서도 저번 시즌에 조금 많이 힘들었던 게 레전드템을 사기에는 비싸고 어느 정도 맛있게 만들어서 써야 되는데 재료 만들고 뭐 제대로 쓸 수가 없으니까 제작이 조금 많이 힘들었거든요. 그러니까 여기서도 그걸 파악하고 좀 많이 고쳐준 것 같아요. 개선을 많이 했음.
processing is re-randomization. When one affix is locked, the gear will be randomized into a piece of prototype gear with 4 fixed affixes without costing any plasticity. Into a piece of prototype gear
옵션을 한 개를 고정시키고 돌리면 내구도가 달지 않는데요. 그러면은 진짜 꿀이죠. 이 진짜 꿀임. 잠깐만.
An affix upgrade
그리고 두 개를 고정하면 이제 뭐 승급 효과라고 하는 것 같은데 내구도를 소모해서 승급을 할 수 있다.
can upgrade a tier 1 affix to tier 0. By doing so, we randomly remove another affix on the gear and reset the gear's plasticity to 0. And of course, gear with 0 plasticity can still be upgraded from tier 1 to tier 0. During targeted processing, you can directly add specific affixes to a piece of gear and the tier of this
지정 옵션을 직접 선택할 수 있네.
tier 0 to tier 6. Certain rare affixes such as +2 spell skill level have a chance of failing in targeted processing.
맛있다 이번에.
Targeted processing will no longer clear the gear's plasticity, meaning targeted processed gear can now be used for prototype crafting up to reforging. The upgrade feature allows Hunter to make superior prototype gear more consistently through prototype crafting. The inclusion of tier 0 affixes also
결국 승급으로 약간 고퀄리티로 만들어서 쓸 수 있다는 것 같은데 일단은 크래프팅 고쳐준 게 정말 다행이라고 생각합니다. 정말 이거 안 고쳐줬으면 저는 진짜 와 이거 크래프팅 힘들어서 어떻게 할까 이 생각했는데 이것만 고쳐줘도 아주 베스트라고 할 수 있죠. 일단 피드백은 확실히 받는 것 같아. 다른 거 다 필요 없고 진짜 그거 하나만으로도 만족하긴 해요.
Moreover, any talent when
Okay, so considering that the NetherRealm gameplay is going to be adjusted, I feel that a lot of players might have some doubts. The main reason for adjusting this is to make it easier for everyone to loot.
Yes, the original Chaos Invasion has many advantages. It encouraged players
It's fully stacked, which means when you don't have
그리고 이거
and compasses fail to execute the best strategy.
내가 원하는 파밍을 좀 안전하게 할 수 있는 거 이 두 가지가 가장 기억에 남는 것 같아요.
Adjustments to the effects of all trait cards to make their strength more consistent with permanent standards. After removing RNG from the drawing of trait cards, we hope to provide more surprises for hunters through Chaos cards. In this season, the effects of Confusion cards have been greatly enhanced. When the time mark is activated, several cards will be drawn from the Confusion card library and placed in that area. Hunters need to choose the Confusion card, clear the corresponding stage, and accumulate progress.
진행도를
When the progress
누적시켜야
is
된다.
completed, a very powerful effect will be added to the stage where the Confusion card is located. In the new season, different decks and cards will be available in various time marks and regions, allowing hunters to challenge time marks in regions that best suit them. In addition to Chaos Invasion, we also made adjustments to the gameplay and compasses in NetherRealm. Since the Six Gods gameplay is the most basic and common gameplay in NetherRealm, we want its experience to be consistent and attractive. So, we have replaced the random rewards of Six Gods with fixed universal rewards to prevent hunters from losing their expectations for rewards due to receiving random low-value rewards. Meanwhile, we have removed the majority of compasses and only kept those that are necessary.
나침반 제거?
Meanwhile, we have removed the majority of compasses and only kept those that are necessary for specific gameplay.
아,
In the new season, these compasses will be listed
그러니까 무조건 나오게 하는 나침반들을 살려둔 거네요.
in the shop at a fixed price to prevent using a compass. Challenging new difficulty levels does not require additional items. Please choose the areas you wish to challenge wisely based on your own strength. We have also added a special mode called Deep Space to Time Mark 8.
딥 스페이스.
Space is unlocked at Time Mark 8 and later. Hunters will need to spend specific beacons to access the NetherRealm
특정
stages.
비콘이
in
있어야
Space
들어갈 수
mode,
있나
and
보네.
of course, they will receive more abundant rewards as well.
그렇네.
So during the Cube of Rapacity season, we noticed that the frequently appearing affix skills at Time Mark 8 were causing significant performance strain on a lot of players' devices. So to address this issue, we have specifically designed affix skills for the NetherRealm stages at Time Mark 8 to assure they appear in appropriate locations, right? And provide enough pressure for hunters during their progression, whilst at the same time removing the pressure on their devices.
Exactly. And also, hunters often need legendary gears to aid them in battles, but powerful legendary gears is often in short supply. And therefore, we have added a new way to obtain legendary gears, the blueprint system. By collecting a certain number of legendary gear blueprints, you will be able to craft the corresponding legendary gear in your inventory. Blueprints will be available as drops in the new season, enriching hunters' means of obtaining legendary equipment.
이것도 마음에 든다. 그러면은 저 같은 경우에는 일단 한 번 더 해볼 것 같습니다. 다음 시즌. 여러분들은 어떻게 9월 달에 하실지 모르겠는데 저는 할 것 같아요. 일단 크래프팅 완화시켜주는 거 너무 좋고요. 그리고 고유 아이템 조각으로 먹어서 이제 모으면은 이제 만들 수 있는 거, 그 두 가지 진짜 마음에 들고, 마지막으로 조합해서 내 마음대로 할 수 있는 거. 그래서 그 세 가지만 봐도 일단 피드백을 잘 받는 것 같아서 일단 한 번 더 해봄직합니다, 여러분. 그래서 저는 할 것 같고요. 여러분들도 기회 되면 9월 8일날 한번 해보셨으면 좋겠네요. 저는 일단 합니다. 근데 뭘로 할진 모르겠어요. 밸런스 패치 나오면은 그때 제가 또 따로 공유해 드리도록 할게요. 그래 토치 뭐 30분 동안 잘 봤고 한번 두고 봅시다, 어떻게 될지. 9월 8일이니까 아직 좀 시간 남았거든요. 그래서 밸런스 패치 보면서 또 이야기 나누도록 할게요. 오늘은 일단 여기까지 하도록 할게요. 자, 같이 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 일단 유튜브는 여기서 마무리 짓도록 할게요.